And I'm going to post those information about the tests. Okay. And I think you probably seen the email. We had a really good news. A couple of students passed that Microsoft Excel certification exam, and great job. And I think his hard work paid off. And congratulations to those individuals. And I expect a few more people will try, and hopefully, hopefully it turns out the good results again. And in terms of the rewards and those students who passed, and you'll have those Proctor U exam will be replaced by 100. So, that's another good news.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When's the last day to take the test? Because I'm scheduled to take it on the 18th.
Are you talking about Microsoft?
Yes. Just can't have to do a retake.
I think I said it as before 1st of December.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's take a look what I have today. And I think, I don't know who attended the session, but let me show you what I have. Give me 1 second. Probably showed this a few weeks ago, but this is the kind of sample for the Microsoft Excel certification. Well, probably some of you, individual who took the test, you can tell me they're similar in terms of, skills. I think it's pretty similar, but because it's been a while, I took those tests. So, and pretty much, so this is the example with those 5 different worksheets. They're named as a project. And each worksheet has those tasks. Then you follow that, then just fill out or complete the worksheets, and you move on to next worksheets. So I think the time that allowed to finish is 50 minutes, right? I think it's still the same, 50 minutes. And as you can see, the tasks are pretty straightforward. It's not like a trick questions, just do for example, conditional formatting with whatever the color that you can use to show the value greater than whatever number. Then sort. So you're going to sort by a couple of columns. So that's kind of multi-sort. Then you have max or whatever those simple functions could be: average, max, minimum, those kind of questions. And then you want to show the total row. Then project 2, just multiplication. And you should be able to use the named range, which is given. So they already create a name range, so that lets you use those name ranges rather than just regular range. So that's what it is. Then change the alignment. Self-drive name and set the indent. So just again the format a particular area. insert column sparkline. Sparkline is, I think, sparkline should be under insert tab. Then you have sparkline is over here in this area, right? I know it's just kind of small on the screen, but that's the sparkline. So then other tasks. Can you mute, please? I think because I'm hearing something. Where did that come from? Are we good now? Right. Filter, title, and name the range. This example, A9 through B11. So highlight that, then you go to name box and type it in whatever it says, right? Order info. Then press enter. And next one. All right, so this is using if function, right? So I9 using if function comparing total column greater than 12,000. Then you show as popular, otherwise just leave it as a blank, which will be used double quotes for the blank. Oh, I think we still have to mute or something. Well, am I hearing myself? Or can you guys hear the same thing? I don't know where the noise.
I can hear it.
Yeah. Maybe from the speaker. All right. Then now other things like here, function, count function. Right? Then use the function that will give a name. Joining multiple columns into one, which is using can-cat function. That's the function combining two or more columns into one. Make it formats like this. Okay, so then convert table to normal range, meaning that right now Avery ice cream. So we're going to go to Avery ice cream. I'll talk about here, right? So here's the table. Because it's table, and you go to table design at the top, toolbar, and this is table area. So we want to go back to convert range, then you locate convert range on the toolbar. So that's what it's asking, convert the table to normal range so that you can get rid of those format and drop down and stuff like that. So that the table is gone now. So they just treat it as a normal range or normal cells. So that's task 4 here. Then next one, project 5 is about creating charts. So first one is just pie chart, but right now pie have only one piece, right? So it's not right. So it's asking to show correctly. And by doing so, to do that, you're going to just swap the data, meaning you need to switch row and column. So they really show those all the pies necessary. Okay. And also expand chart data to include. So right now it's only including 2020. So they ask you to include the 2021 as well so that you can highlight entire area. I mean, you can go to chart design and you can click select the data and you can just select from there to include additional area. And apply the style of the chart that should be here, right here, different style. Style 7, that's the style 7. This, again, it's kind of small, but it is style 7. Okay. So as you can see, pretty much straightforward. And the real test, I think, is pretty much similar function. Of course, the specific skills may be a little different in terms of, the functions or calculation itself. So I thought I'm going to give you some examples of certification exam. All right. So this time I'm going to take a look project 3, which will be due this weekend. And I'm not going to read the direction, but I'm just showing samples how should it be look like. In terms of the format or layout or design, I think I made it a little bit, make it look better as an example, but you don't have to, And the main thing is just enter all those functions as indicated, functions and calculations, okay? So idea is assuming you're gonna purchase a car. It can be used or new car. So you're trying to, you're buying a car, but you're gonna go to lenders, assuming you're gonna have automobile loan, right? So we have 3 lenders. Could be bank, could be any institutions, online lenders. So you need to lay out those 3. So it can be any. So you can just search Google, then you find the website and find the interest rate, right? Because you're going to pay for the loan amount. And if you couldn't find the rate, because sometimes it's not clear what kind of APR they have, then you can use the random rate, which is fine, okay? Because the rate is not important, but calculation is important, okay? And also rate lately is more like a 6, 7, 8%. Used to be very lower, but now it's I think 5, 6, 7 is somewhere in between. So you can make it at those interest rate. And the main thing is calculating monthly payments. Okay. Of course, I think I skipped that part. You need to decide which car to purchase, right? So in my case, I go with this 24 Nissan GT, and that's the website I found. And the price of the car is under 83,000. And to finance that, again, those 3 companies, interest rate, then I'm going to calculate the monthly payment using PMT function, okay? PMT stand for payments, okay? So PMT function requires at least 3 variables in it, okay? First one is the interest rate, okay? Not the annual, but the rate for the period. Because we're doing monthly and we are dividing by 12. So that's 12 come from, right? So C9, that's the annual interest rate, and divide by 12 so that we can get monthly interest rate, right? So that's the first variable. Second variable, that's total month, okay? 10 years, 120 months, 20 years, 240 months. So that's D8 stand for, okay? D8 is, by the way, right here, 36. Okay. Then the last variable will be the actual amount you borrow, okay? They call it present value or loan amount, it's a different terms.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you explain why you divided it by 12?
Sure. C9 is the annual, okay? Annual interest rate.
Okay.
Because we are doing monthly payment, you need to divide by 12 so that you can get monthly interest rate,
Okay.
right? So don't forget about it. Divide by 12, okay?
Yep. Got you. Thank you.
Yeah. In terms of the second variable, which is the total month, again, we are doing monthly with 10 years, 10 times 12, 20 years, 20 times 12, that'll give you total month, right? The last one, that's again, the amount you are borrowing or present value, what they call, which is the price of the car. Okay. In my case, that right there is the D14. Okay. 183,000. And then what you see is just absolute cell reference, right? Dollar sign, so that I can copy. If you're not sure about absolute cell reference, you don't have to use it. Okay, you can just do it manually. That's fine. By not entering dollar sign, because the main thing is you want to get the correct answer. Okay, so if you're not comfortable with dollar sign, you don't have to use it. Okay, and one thing different from other function, PMT function or other financial functions will return negative value as a default. Why? Because you owe money, right? You need to pay back. That's why it's going to give you negative value. And that's why we have negative in front of this function, PMT. If I don't have that negative, without negative sign, see what I get. I get negative value, right? Because you need to pay back, okay? Well, it's fine, work with negative value, but if you try to use this negative value to other cells and to do other calculations, I think it's kind of confusing and you may ending up, weird number or with different, different sign, different value, right? So that's why we typically use negative for the PMT, okay? Negative PMT function, okay? So that you get all the positive number rather than negative numbers. Any question about PMT function? So this, go ahead.
It's actually not about the PMT function, but I wanted to know what the keyboard shortcut for the absolute function was. I can't remember.
Well, that was F4.
F4. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's what I got, all those monthly payments. So I need to pay 5,000. And if you go for 60 months, I'll pay for 3,400. Okay. Right. It's a lot of money. But one thing you need to check is just see the number. If it's just the number doesn't make sense, like for example, number is too large, like 5 figures, or if it's too low, like only hundreds, then something is not right. So you need to check back the formula. For example, interest rate, make sure you divide by 12, right? Make sure the second variable, that's the total month, okay, not the year. Then the third one is just the automobile price, okay? So make sure check that. All right. So once you do that monthly payment, then we're going to move down this section here, lowest monthly payment. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase one more year and see what kind of payment I'm going to get. So sometimes you compare, right? Compare with 3 years, 4 years, 5 years payment, right? So we look at the lowest monthly payment. In this example right here, 60 months, right? 60 months, I'll get the lowest amount, but I want to see whether I can extend it a little further, like by 12 months, and see how much monthly payment will be. So that's the idea here. So increase by 12 months from 60 months to 72 months and see what monthly payment will be. So the PMT function will be exactly same, right? The only difference is just increase by 12 months. So it now becomes 72 instead of 60 months for this, the second variable in the PMT function. Then you'll find the monthly payment this time for 72 months is like 2,878 rather than 3,400. So I can save like a 500 or 600 somewhere between. Okay. Then at the bottom, here's the the bottom section will give you the total amount that you end up paying, okay? Because, for example, you're going to pay for either 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So what's the total amount you end up paying, right? Including interest amount. So that's what we're trying to do here, okay? But two different scenarios. One is the 36 months and the other is 60 months. Because we just look for only two cases, not the middle one, but the largest payment and the smallest payment. So look at only two cases and see how much you have to pay the total. In this example, we're going to use just D9, which is the monthly payment for 36 months and multiply by D8, which is 36, right? So just think about that. All you do is just take this amount, which is monthly payment, and multiply by 36 months, and it give you total amount that you end up paying, right? Because you're paying every month this amount, then you're paying for 36 months. So that's the total amount you're paying for. That includes interest amount, right? So now column D, D22, well, we're trying to see what's the interest amount you pay for out of this $200,000. Okay, so all you do is take total amount, which is we just calculated, C22 minus D14, which is the automobile price, right? Then you'll find out interest amount, assuming there are no other costs. Make sense? So we can, of course, use the Excel functions to calculate, fancy function, but I think this is the simplest way, right, to calculate total amount you're paying for and interest amount you're paying for, assuming there are no other costs. But we want to make sure this is correct. That's why we introduce CUMI-PMT. That's the cumulative interest payment. It's almost like PMT function, but we have only two more variables within CMUI-PMT. So this function will calculate total interest amount that you need to pay for. Okay, so here we go. So how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variable in it. Okay, but first 3 are exactly same. The first 3 variables exactly same as PMT. Okay, so CUMI PMT again starting with negative, right? Because again you need to pay back the interest amount. So negative CUMI PMT. Then you have an interest rate, which is annual interest rate divided by 12, so that you can get monthly interest rate. Then D8 stands for total month, which is 36. Then D14, that's the price, automobile price. Then number one stands for the first period of this payment. So Excel want to know the total number of periods, okay? So that's 1. What's the last period for this scenario? 36, because we have 36 months. So you need to show 1. You need to show the last month, which is 36, okay? Then at the end, you have one more variable you need to enter, either 0 or 1, which means you're paying the beginning of month or end of month. Okay. So this stands for beginning of month. Okay. 0 stands for beginning of the month that you pay for. Okay. So again, CUMI PMT, the exactly same as PMT function, those 3 variables, but number 4 position, the first month or first period, which is 1, then comma followed by the last month or last period, in this example 36, which is 36 month, then 0 indicate you're paying the beginning of the month. All right? So that's the CUMI PMT. The reason we are doing this is so that we can confirm this calculation is correct. Okay, so you see that those 2 numbers are identical. So now we know our calculation is correct. Okay, same thing over here. Now we are doing for 60 months, and then calculation for the total amount paid for is monthly payment times F8, that's the 60. The interest amount that you're going to find, that's the C23 we just calculated, total amount, minus D14, again, that's the automobile price. Then here we go, we have CUMI PMT calculation so that we can confirm this interest amount that you need to pay for, okay? Only difference here is F8, that's the total month, which is 60. Then 60, that's the last period of this payment, which is 60 months. Okay. And there you go. You have a identical amount in both D23 and E23. All right, so that's what you're going to work on. Any questions? No problem? Any other questions you may have, let me know.
Okay, I have one question. Say when I use the functional argument box, I try to fill in the arguments. It was a place like for the 0, the last number on the cumulative interest payment. There's nowhere for that last 0 to go. How do I, or does it make a difference?
Well, I think default could be 0. I think it may not really, may not be the problem. So just if you're using you're using that, then
Right.
you can try that and see what happens. And if your number are different from D22 to E22, then you can enter manually.
Right. Add 0 manually.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you have a same result in both cells, then that's fine. You don't
Okay.
have to enter 0.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. I know I think need to grade a couple of homeworks, so I need to make up. So I'll do it as soon as I can. Okay. All right. No questions? So if you come up with any problems and then need help, just let me know. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.